What's up, y'all? This is Iskosi, a fun day back at it once again, kicking it for you and for yours. You know what I'm saying? And gotta give a shout out to my ancestors. You know, for giving me the knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And also a big major shout out to y'all for donating, you know, liking and subscribing to the channel. You know what I mean? Much love. Now this one right here comes from Bridge, Michigan nonpartisan nonprofit news source. So they ain't really got no dog in the fight to what's going on out here, you know, left, right, and stuff like that. And this one deals with the Michigan government. Michigan jails filled with unlicensed drivers, people who miss court dates. Michigan jail task forces find that one explanation for the state's crowded county jails is thousands of people being locked up for relatively minor charges rather than dangerous crimes. This came out September 20th, 2019. Early findings by a Michigan jail task force is seeking to understand why the state jail population continued to grow. One suggests one possible culprit. Plenty of people are behind bars for administrative rule breaking and other nonviolent crimes. Last year, for instance, the office that generated the greatest number of arrests in Michigan was failed to appear in court. Michigan police data shows. Among other disclosures cited at a task force meeting Friday in Grand Rapids, a striking imbalance in the nature of arrests within the state. Arrests involving about 90% of criminal charges in Michigan, with defendants giving citation only 10% of the cases. The difference: arrestees go to jail while a person who's given a citation can be given a date to appear in court with no stop in jail. Former House Speaker Craig DeRoche, a task force member, told Bridge Magazine the data laid out Friday points to an obvious starting place for jail reform. What this tells me there is literally thousands, hundreds of thousands of people going in and out of jail every day that don't need to be there, said DeRoche, who is now Senior Vice President of the Prison Fellowship, a nonprofit advocacy group for criminal justice reform. I'm talking about the 40% that are going in and out of jail for violations like driving without a license, for retail theft of less than $1,000, and for technical violations like not showing up for a meeting. The question is, where did they go to jail in the first place? Why did they go to jail in the first place? And it shows right here, it shows a little map about the drug arrest is up, drunken driving is down. You know what I'm saying? The data compiled by the Michigan State Police Force shows a dramatic shift between 2008 and 2018, and what people were being arrested for across the state. The numbers inform a study of Michigan's surging jail population. Narcotics and other core violations show huge increases. You know, as you see right here, drunken driving, alcohol, liquor violations, retail fraud. So drunken driving. Now, that's back in this red one right here is 2008. Now, this is the biggest decline. You know what I'm saying? So drunk driving is the biggest decline. The largest increase since 2008 is methamphetamine production, meth, probation violation, narcotic equipment, heroin possession, and contempt of court. And we know who the meth affects. Let's see who the meth affects. Crime in Michigan is falling, and yet a number of inmates in Michigan jail nearly tripled over a 30-year period. 57 jail inmates in 1975 to 16,600 in 2015. Governor Gretchen Whitmer formed a task force in April to expand alternatives to jail and reduce jail admissions on a length of stay. The task force contracted with researchers at the Pew Charitable Trust to dive into why people are being locked up in a jail across the state and recommend legal and policy strategies and alter jail practices. Former Highland GOP state rep Joe Havivan said the findings underscore the need for jail and prison reform. Havivan was a persistent criminal justice reform advocate during his 6 years in the state house. The statistic I hear the most people do better when they're with their family, their home, and their job. Incarceration should keep those individuals who are harmful to the community and are dangerous. They should be the guiding principle. While many others, Hallivan said he is mystified why Michigan jail population has not fallen along with the falling crime rate. Why is the jail population going up? I don't know. it seems likely we want to keep that low as possible. There is a growing momentum for some form of jail reform, as current GOP House Speaker Lee Chatfield co-authored with DeRose and a former GOP House Speaker Chase Boudin on an opinion piece, and made that stated in part, we had to question whether incarceration protects families in Michigan or whether it tells them apart instead. Over the last decade, the number of citation issues and legal arrests have been cut in half, according to research by Pew, a Philadelphia-based nonprofit that is working with the state and local officials across Michigan to compile the jail population findings. Among some of the other findings released Friday include nearly 2/3 of the jail admissions are for misdemeanor charges. And 12% of the people released on bond were in jail from periods ranging from a week to more than a month. A third of this group spent at least 2 days in jail. Jail reform advocates say even brief stays can disrupt an inmate's personal life, in some cases leading to job loss and greater likelihood of committing another crime. Long-term jail counts for most of the jail population. Inmates with jail stays in less than a week account for 66% of jail admission, for just 5% of jail bed days. On the other hand, those who were in jail more than a month accounted for 17% of admissions, but 82% of jail bed stays. A Pew analysis earlier this year found that the Michigan counties held 51 people in jail for every 100,000 residents by 1960. By 2017, with about the same crime rate as 1960, that rate soared to 163 people in the county jail for 100,000 residents. That report also found a puzzling trend as higher incarceration rates in rural areas of Michigan. Now, as you see right there, it says rural areas of Michigan. Now, that's where your meth is coming from. The rural areas are the white areas. That's where they jumping on this shit, because a lot more white folks are getting locked up from the meth, as they seen earlier from the thing. Go back up here real quick. As you seen earlier from the thing, the methamphetamines, the largest influence, black people don't do that. Vibration violation, narcotic and heroin possession, that's them. You know what I'm saying? Drunken driving is down. Alcohol minors is down. Liquor, because many people listen with the liquor. But that's the reason why, like I said, they having this pep talk. Too many white folks getting locked up for heroin and doing meth. In 1978, the report found 50% of all Michiganders in jail were held in rural counties, compared to 34% of all inmates in urban jails. That turned upside down by 2013, as the share of inmates in rural jails reached 24% of the state total jail population, compared to 19% of the urban jails. So by 2013, the number had flipped, and the jail number had went down, had been cut in half damn near in the black community. The number of those held before trial also appeared to be climbing in rural jails, while falling in urban jails. Now this right here, black men overrepresented in jails, while white women not so much so. And a survey of 20 counties, representing 40% of Michigan's total jail population, includes stark racial disparities. The data was compiled for the years 2016 to 2018. As you see, the green is the Democratic sample, and the red is the jail admissions in the sample counties. You know what I'm saying? So one county, let's say, might have like 40% white males, but out of the 40%, things like that. So, and for the state of Michigan, out of them 20 counties, represent 40%, white males is in jail 41%. You know what I'm saying? White women 41 is tied with the black or white male. Black people was like 6% of them counties, but they represent 26% of the jail. Let me do this over again. You know what I'm saying? One more time. The green, 40%, the white male represented 41% of the population, and that population, 39% of it was in jail. That's better. White women might represent 41% of the population, but only 16% of them was in jail. Black males in all 20 counties in Michigan represent 6% of the population, but 28% of them was in jail. Black women represent 6% of the population, but 8 of them was in jail. So that's a disparity. Bridget McCormick, Chief Justice of the Michigan Supreme Court and Jail Task Force, co-chaired by Bridge, told Friday that she didn't have any prejudge or what perform measures in the task force measure by then closed. But McCormick said she was surprised with the finding that 17% of those jailed for driving without a license were in jail for periods ranging from a week to more than a month. The number of people who seem to be in jail longer than a couple of days for driving with a suspended license, I was taken aback by that. It strikes me as something we're going to want to pay more attention to. Milton Mack, Michigan State Court Administrator, said by phone on Thursday that any reforms in the Michigan jail system also must include robust programs to divert the seriously mental ill from jail to treatment. It is critical, he said. Mack pointed out in a 2017 survey by the Wayne County Sheriff Department, Wayne County, Detroit, that they found that half of the 20,000 county jail inmates had previously received community mental health care, often indicating of a serious mental illness. You cannot fix Michigan jail and prison problem without paying heavy attention to mental illness. The task force meet in Detroit on October 18th. It is scheduled to issue a final report and recommendation to the state on January 9th. And there you have it. Now, once the white population started building up, as the stat shows, once the white population started building up, they started snapping off. They started going through what they was going through. I don't meet too many black people here that do meth. Or really even shoot up heroin. You know what I'm saying? That's more of a white person thing, But this is the largest crime offense, and this is what the stats saying like. Anyway, this is a Koski of Fun Day. Much love to you and yours. And subscribe to the channel. Peace.